Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Inside My Head. We are playing against Atomicexpert and we have got a French on the agenda today. I was planning on doing a amateur's mind, but I was too lazy, I will be honest with you. Work is quite hectic now and unfortunately I don't really have an awful lot of time to look after my YouTube channel, so unfortunately posts will be sporadic for a while. The reason why I play this, of course, is because I want to castle queenside. So we are going to follow on the last video that I uploaded where I discussed this phenomenon a great deal. That let's go and attack. I already want to play g4, g5. Although this is a bit of a iffy maneuver considering that he hasn't castled yet. So c4 I like more because it also took away the opportunity from them to play knight d5. Now I really do like g4 here. The only thing I want to consider is that after a3, b3, do they have a chance to trade this bishop off? Well, they don't. So all this pawn push all the way down here is a complete lemon that we can totally ignore. And he can't ignore this because it's going to kick the knight out in a very unpleasant fashion. So the ball is definitely on their court. They played very confidently and very quickly, but probably not too accurately. I flew through the opening and I regret that, so let's go back again. So he played the exchange French, and there is this bishop d7, bishop c6 variation, which is incredibly passive and consequently not good at all, because what it does is that it blocks the pawn on c7, and so black can't contest the center with the usual c5 method, which is in fact not only the usual but also the only way to contest the center. So now they had to trade, and now they're sort of building up this bunker, and here a lot of club players would have made what I would consider a slight mistake by castling short. So my opponent is playing very passively, and so I want to punish them in the most rigorous and aggressive fashion, and that includes me castling queenside for sure. And now he had a go at me and I'm having a go at him, and we'll see whose attack is stronger. Given that I've got the two bishops and full central domination, my money is on myself at the moment. The idea, of course, with g4 is that if knight takes rook g1, and I will pick up g7, and that causes a lot of trouble on the king side. If they don't take, then they are facing the consequences of g5, meaning that the knight has to go to the side, and it doesn't really have a bright future anymore. It's not a game-winning threat, but it's definitely annoying. If queen c7, for example, g5 knight here. Do I have g6? I'm getting a bit too romantic in my head. Maybe d5 would be a good plan to play for, with the idea of cracking the e-file open. But unfortunately, with the queen on c7 after cd, I can't take back because I'm pinned. So I would have to play king b1 with the idea of d5. Neither side of castling seems to be safe enough. Although kingside castle may be playable, because once they play g6, the pawn there and the knight there sort of hold up everything reasonably well. So I could play knight e5 now if I wanted to, so that knight takes, pawn takes, knight d7, queen e4, g6, h4, h5 is a stock standard attack, but there knight d5, knight c5 is annoying. If g5 knight here, that knight on h5 backed up by the pawn on g6 is quite an efficient defender. I'm actually thinking about playing h4, h5 and then g5. Yeah, after g5, knight h5, I can't see an efficient way to eliminate this knight. Okay, this feels a little bit lame. It feels slow. That's my biggest problem with it. Actually, I know what I should have done. Maybe just rook e1. No, I want to attack. I like this. h5, g5, that's the plan. Now they can actually take me. Because after rook g1 they have h5. But I don't mind that extremely complicated scenario there. I'm hoping that I will be able to find some tactical tricks that will allow me to carry on with the attack. I might at one point have to sack an exchange, but then again I would be more than delighted to do so. Yeah, c5 is my worry, or not necessarily a worry, but what I would be considering best. Although, after c5 I have h5, and if cd then g5. And the attack broke through before he could hassle my dudes, and that looks really bad. That looks bad. Because it does absolutely nothing, so let's go. If it takes rook g1, f5 can't be played because e6 hanging, other knight coming in looks very dodgy because this is, yeah, nah. And I thought that that was his plan, but this looks shockingly bad. Like, going backwards when you are already attacked very, very severely is hardly ever a playable scenario. And maybe because of the bunker chess he's playing, he's not going to collapse right away. But boy, oh boy, this is looking horrid. This is looking absolutely shockingly horrid. I'm a little bit lazy to calculate, but g6 seems to be a no-brainer. Yeah, let's go g6. Can't be wrong. We need to crack open files and diagonals in front of the king, and that's what this move is designed to do. So that's what we do. Let's calculate a few lines. If takes, I take. If then h6, which is the natural reaction to try to keep everything closed. I might just need to play king b1 before I sack, so that this check is not going to cause any dramas. If take, that I wouldn't even consider, to be honest. Like, I would just figure out how to win against that. Wow. Just wow. Now usually in this scenario there is a very cool trick, which is that you don't take, but you play h6. Because paradoxically, if I take and he plays king h8 and then I play h6, then he's pushing by and I actually fail to open up any files in front of the king. I think virtually any move I play here is winning for white, but I think for the sake of being thematic and showing you some cool attacking patterns, I will play this move because that's what I think is the most commonly used method to attack in a similar scenario to this. Now I would play actually bishop f6 for black. It releases some tension on e6 and it allows them to retake with the bishop, still maintains some resemblance of defense. And after bishop f6 takes, they will tuck the king away there, and when I take here, they will take back with the bishop. It's shockingly bad, but that's probably the least of the all evils. Everything else seems to be terrible, including this, because now it just fell apart. But at least it's going to allow me to execute a beautiful attack with check, 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 and then mate here. That's gonna be pretty cool. Yeah. So after check, check, king back, I could take g6. If I go here, knight h4. Yeah, nah, he didn't give me a chance to do that. So that was a pretty easy, but at the same time quite spectacular attack. So let's get an analysis board on this quickly and see what went wrong for black other than a very bad opening. Choice. Someone says that I have disappeared from the streaming scene, which is a very sad truth indeed. Just give me a sec. So yeah, queen e2. Bishop d2 and castles. I'm glad that the computer is approving of my thinking. Okay, c4. No, that was a dislike you wanted. Oh, g4 already. Wow. So the g4 idea was fully valid. Fully valid. I liked c4 more because it took away the d5 square from this guy. I'm going to... Whoa. Sorry. I will move up there because there's some chatting going on and I don't want you to get distracted. c4, a4, g4. All good, yeah. And h4... Yeah, he should have taken... Nah, he should have played b5. But b5 I thought was rubbish because of c5 and I close off the center and my attack just rages on. Yeah. And that was just death. Rook dg1 is the preferred way to attack instead of my instant g6. And f5 was best. Wow. They want this. I will eat my hat if this is survivable. And a3 is why it's best. That's why you shouldn't listen to the computer all the time, guys. So what's wrong with take here and just play something semi-decent? Can I just go here and here? Bishop f6, wow. Computer is a tenacious dude when it comes to defending. I find it impossible to believe that he's not totally dead here. And yet he's not. So there was apparently still a little bit of defending potential here. But my opponent failed to do that and, yeah, as I said, fell into this mate. So I wasn't sure. This one would have been the spectacular way to do it. This one was the instant kill with mate. Yeah, so not an awful lot to learn really from this one other than don't play passive rubbish openings that give you no scope for play. Other than giving you a sturdy setup, because this one is sturdy as, like, black has no weaknesses, but also he has no hopes to create any play. So such openings are to be avoided. And when sitting on the other side, rigorous attack is the way to go, even though, as I pointed it out, or rather as the computer pointed it out, there would have been a bit of play left in the position after this capture here. Although, holy cow, check out this line here. The computer just showed me this for a second. Wow. Now, when I said that the computer is a rigorous defender, if there was one thing that the computer was even better at, attack. So check king b1. What's the goal with this? Oh, bishop check and then mate. Wow. Take that, baby. So what's the move here? Rook here. And then rook g1, rook df8, queen f5, and black collapses on g6. Wow. Check that out. If queen here, I reckon bishop f4. No. What's wrong with this? Nothing. Okay. And then bishop e5. That's so cool. Yeah, that was a pretty awesome attack, actually. The one that the computer did, that is. I mean, mine was reasonable too, but it fell apart very quickly after queen e6. Anyway, that was all for today, folks. And I hope to be back with more soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.